Hi guys and happy weekend. So today we are doing our card pull from January 6th to January 12th and we are using the Neo Tarot. So in Hair Talk, as you can see, I had an appointment scheduled for January 1st because I just had it planned that I wanted to release anything that I was holding on to for really reasons that were not important, which had a lot to do with the length of my hair. And I realized that I was holding on to something that maybe needed to heal, or that I was ready to heal, or maybe that it was just being ready to let go, right? And other than that, without seeing it such as a spiritual movement, I was ready for a change. And let me tell you, I'm really excited. So as you can see, it is a super straight bob. But I don't know if you could see it, it is shaved all under. And yes, I did dye it. I did dye it because when she shaved the bottom, I did not know that there was so much gray on the sides of my hair and absolutely no gray on the back of my hair. So I did dye it, but let me tell you, I feel free. I feel like, oh, like I just released something that, I don't know, it makes me feel complete, if that makes sense. See, I'm wordless, and you guys know that I speak out of my elbows. So for me to be speechless, that means a lot. So today we are using that Neo Tarot, and we're taking a look at the energy for January 6th to the 12th. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lower our camera, and we're gonna do our mini reading, once again, using the Neo Tarot by Jericho Mandiber. I think I said her name correctly. And I do love this lady's Instagram, and she has amazing curly hair, which is, I love to see her hair. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna give our cards a good shuffle. Now when we take a look at this coming week, even though it's only the second week of the new year, it does feature two celestial attractions that could rock our world, right? So we have a Cancer full moon lunar eclipse on Friday, January 10th, that makes up the first of a bookend of Cancer full moons that begin and end this year. And now the second is the Saturn-Pluto conjunction on Sunday, January 12th, that spells trouble in a number of different ways, right? So this is definitely a week that you want to stay grounded. This is a week that instead of working with amethyst for your grounding crystal, I would totally recommend black tourmaline, selenite, and smoky quartz. And if you want to bring a little bit of patience or self-love, then throw a little rose quartz in there. But definitely staying grounded and shielded from any lower vibes from other people is definitely the goal here. There is nothing, like I always say, there's nothing that we can't get through or survive. We just kind of want to be ready, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to lay out our cards for next week. And this week what we're doing is we are going to be working with 5 cards in our mini reading. So let's go ahead and get them zoomed in for you guys. And what we're gonna see here is the first card that we start the next week's energy with. So what we're seeing here is the reverse moon, right? So when we see the moon, it's usually, a lot of people think moon is intuition, what it could be, but moon is also working with the shadow side. The moon, we know, has this beautiful, powerful, dark, mysterious side to her. So what we see with the moon in reverse is right now, you may be feeling some confusion or uncertainty next week, right? Now you may be doubly confused because the cause of your confusion could actually be out of your control. So next week, you definitely want to work on prioritizing and reestablishing before anything else. Now the situation will get better, right, without your help. So you definitely want to avoid any turmoil or fear by addressing yours in a safe, controlled way. Fluctuation is scary. New beginnings are scary, right? But this is the tranquility that comes after that shadow. So you may start off the week feeling that unease energy, right? But it's working with the self as well as setting a lot of boundaries. Now, a lucky number for next week would be the number 18, right? And an affirmation is I commit to being more connected to my emotions and my inner landscape. Now, moving on to the next one, what we're seeing is the beautiful energy of the Page of Pentacles. In this case, she is in reverse. So what we see here is that it's almost like something that turns slow and practical action into an action, right? So whether whether through apathy, indecision, or overwhelming anxiety, the energy could be blocked or manifesting as a restlessness and a desire to do things differently. You definitely want to ask yourself, are you sick of the straight and narrow? There is no wrong answer. This is almost saying embrace your path, right? We have society over here showing what we should be like. As mothers, you should do this. As someone in your 30s, you should do this. As someone in your 50s, it's like, no, you definitely want to follow your own path. Sometimes going over mountains and darkness is so much more adventurous, and the unknown is actually a beautiful place than just going through a straight road because it's nice and sunny, right? So what we see here is definitely working with being cautious, right? But being committed to the task that you started. Stay hardworking, stay with your determination. Your affirmation is, my conservative, dignified approach yields sustainable rewards. Now, the next one that we see is the Knight of Wands. So what we're seeing here is that Knight of Fire. Fire is always your internal energy, right? So the Knight of Wands is represented the energy that speeds impulsively into audacious adventure, living for the challenge, right? So what we see here is, what is your biggest challenge? Next week, you want to be careful with being easily bored and not finishing what you start. So you may have the week that if you're not stimulated, you're just going to be like, forget this. You want to be careful with that. If you start something next week, make sure that you finish it. Make sure that you stay focused. Make sure that you stay grounded, because if you don't, that's going to build up anxiety for the future, and then you're going to be like, oh, I got to finish this. So the more we put it to the side, the more anxiety we're giving ourselves, right? So what we see here is, be careful with being hot-headed. Be careful with being forceful. So moderation is definitely key, right? But really tune into that energy and, be daring in a way. Just have moderation. So the affirmation we're seeing is, I move quickly towards my passions and confront my challenges head on. Now, the next card that we have is the Eight of Wands. So we stay with that fire energy. And what we're seeing with the Eight of Wands is basically you are fast approaching the completion of your goals, right? So there's something that you started that now you're you're getting there, you're almost there, right? And this will bring new opportunities, right? Will it be like you imagined? Probably not, because we usually put our expectations into things, and then when we actually reached it, we're like, wait a minute, it's not what I thought. But that's just expectations get in the way, right? But it will be beneficial and affirming, maybe even better than what you expected. So this is aiming straight and shoot for what you want right now. Do not be distracted. Do not let the self-doubt come in, right? There's going to be a lot excitement, energy coming to you. So you want to light that fire under you and take action, right? So you're ready to go. The thing here is, with the other card, make sure if you start something, you finish it, right? So this is just the energy. I mean, next week, what we're seeing is a lot of willpower. Now, what we see here is the swift of action, right? A positive development, not losing hope, not giving up. An affirmation for that beautiful Eight of Wands is, I trust in divine movement and know my dreams will become a reality. This is all about self-trust. Now, moving to the last one for next week, the week of January 6 to the 12th, I keep saying next week. What we see here is the Ten of Pentacles. Now, the Ten of Pentacles shows some kind of completion, right? So what we're seeing here is there's a cycle that has ended in your material realm. Now, it's pointing to a long-lasting abundance and the idea of family, a group of people enjoying the fruits of their labor together. This could be your family or the family that you have chosen for yourself. Now, this level of prosperity can sometimes mean emotional connection is replaced with a fixation on financial security. So there is less room for play and spontaneity in a house filled with expensive things. How can you nurture your inner as well as outer world? So this is bringing in balance. This is not telling you don't go shopping, don't get the things you want, do that, but keeping it in moderation. A lot of times I tell people, especially us, right? I love to shop. And a lot of times I will ask myself, am I shopping because I really want to do this, or am I in a void and I'm trying to fill up that void with shiny new things, right? Because a lot of times we go through the new symptom or syndrome, what I call it. We go shopping, we get that fluffy sweater and that new blanket because we always need big, comfy blankets. And then 3 days later, we're back to the void. So if you're seeing this happening, this card that's telling you go within. Instead of going to hurt your bank account, go within and see what is causing the void. So what we see here is working with stability, working with security, right? But not getting too attached to anything. So the affirmation is my greatest achievements are the people that I love. So making sure that if you're going through a void, you're not pushing people away. A lot of times I am guilty of it. If I'm going through self-discovery or through a void or things are shifting, I lock myself in, but it's not the healthiest thing to do. So as you see, this is a very powerful energy that we're dealing with. So I honestly can't wait to hear your comments about it. I do hope that everybody has an amazing week. Remember to check out the shop at www.lightwitchtarotshop.com. Schedule your reading there, get your candles, and just ask me any questions that you may have for me. So I am wishing everybody an amazing weekend. I will see you guys all next week. So lots of love and light to you all, and blessed be. Bye-bye.